Hello, if you are a rap fan, so today's story it's for you. And please watch out. Even if you're not a rap fan, you can just watch out because this story is also an inspiration story and also it is a captivating story. Although it has some tragedies in the story, some bad things have happened to this person, but all in all, out of all those tragedies he has gone through, he has come out to be a legend, and we know him today because of his music and how his music has inspired so many people. And also he was the first person to pull out a certain large of crowd where he was able to perform for this crowd. I don't know if you've seen this video going all over around the internet where DMX is being able to perform in a 100,000 number of crowd, and people are able to vibe through his own music, and people are able to connect with him. So today's story is none other than DMX, and DMX is a legend where everybody I think know him, and most of the people know him, and also have come across one of his songs, or maybe have come across an album which he did. And DMX was able to come out in the years of 1990s, 96, 98 over there, where Tupac had died, and many people now had lost hope of any other gangster rapper who will bring that hard rough mentality which Tupac had brought into the industry. But now DMX came, even suppressed that, and also tried to bring out a better version where he released many songs like Rough Rider, and also songs like Gangsters Anthem. It was nice songs he released. So I'm going to tell you the story of DMX. It is not Gangster Anthem, it is Rough Rider Anthem. Rough Rider Anthem. So today I'll be telling about the story of DMX and the early livelihood of DMX. Many people don't know DMX went through a lot of trauma and also a lot of pain. Even when later in his years he said that the aggressiveness which he showed was brought about by the upbringing which he had by his mother. DMX was mainly brought up by a single mother, and this single mother had another daughter. So DMX was the second child, and at that time the relationship between the mother and also DMX wasn't very well, because the mother sometimes will beat up DMX, and also beating up DMX will also injure DMX. And one thing, DMX had a condition which was asthma, and most of the time DMX will be caught up into hospital because of that breathing problem, and sometimes will be rushed to hospital after the mother had beaten DMX. So it was a tragic story for DMX, and also he lacked that mother love from since the beginning. And also there was a clip which he showed that DMX was weeping because of how he felt that the mother didn't show him love. So he was weeping for that love. Imagine a 40-year-old man and also a grown-up old man weeping. Then that means that he has gone through a lot of pain, which is he cannot show any way to express it but just to cry and cry it all. So DMX says that his aggression came from the beatings which the mother beat him. They say when the DMX was in the age of 4 years, DMX was hit by a car, but by the religious experience and also the religious indoctrination which the family was into, DMX, the insurance company which DMX was hit by that car, it was at the age of 4 years. The insurance company wanted to pay their parents, DMX mother and also DMX, they wanted to pay him around $10,000, but DMX mother refused because he said she was a Jehovah Witness, and Jehovah Witness don't take such type of money. And although it was minor injuries, but they refused that kind of money. So later on, DMX had a problem with the mother and the stains of the mother. So most of the times DMX opted to go and also start bonding with other kids outside. And this made the mother angry because he didn't want DMX to go outside and bond with the other kids. So whenever DMX came back, he would beat the hell out of DMX and will beat DMX. And DMX, this made him to now started running out of home and didn't want to stay at home because of the mother. And also the mother had many multiple partners, and also this was also frustrating for DMX. So later on, the only way DMX could cope with this was to go to his grandmother. The grandmother's house was the only place where he could seek refuge, because it was, at least the grandmother was loving. And even later on in the years, he would weep for his grandmother, because the grandmother was the only person where he only loved. So DMX was going all the time to seek refuge into his grandmother's house. Whenever anything happened, he will go to his grandmother's house to seek refuge. So after seeking refuge in his grandmother's house, he will now start being free, because at their own house, DMX was locked 24 hours, 24/7. But in the grandmother's house, he will be able to go and interact with other kids. And also his company was just poor street boys who are around there. He wasn't very able to go and also look for more friends. His inner circle was just the friends who were around there. So the mother went back and took DMX back from the grandmother. After taking DMX back from the grandmother, the service community saw that DMX is going through a lot, and they decided to put DMX into a certain type of boarding school where he will be able to stay away from the mother, because the mother was deemed irresponsible to take care of DMX. So when he went to that boarding school, he was a bright student. He scored very high in the boarding school, and also he was praised. But one thing happened. There was a fire which was caught up in that particular boarding school, where the boarding school, a certain place was burnt, and that place, there were two people which they claimed that they burnt it, and DMX was one of them, and the other person got away with it. So DMX was the one who was to bear all the problem. So DMX later after the school realized that it was DMX, they decided to punish him and make him not to go to certain types of areas, like the library, like the dining hall. So DMX was just fixated in certain places in that boarding school. So luckily, DMX was able to finish that school, and later on, after finishing the school, he was able to go to another high school. And this high school, he was learning a lot of things. And later on, it was a problem for DMX. Now DMX started also stealing things, started also threatening people, and also started using drug abuse like crack, and also weed. And this was a caution for the mother. So the mother decided to take DMX to another children's village. And this children's village, it was a certain type of scenario where you leave your kids for a certain type of period. After leaving them, then closing, there will be a certain type of holiday where you come back for your kids and take them. It was just more of like a boarding school. So when DMX was left into that particular school, there was a break where the mother had to come and take DMX, but DMX was the only kid which wasn't taken in that particular boarding school out of to go and enjoy. So DMX, this was a pain for him, because he waited all day to see his mother coming for him, but the mother wasn't able to come for him. So DMX now started having a lot of pain, and also started now disliking the mother, and also he wasn't very happy, because how can the mother leave him alone in a children's village? No one was there. Other kids have already gone. So this was also a pain for DMX. But later on, in that children's village, he was able to meet some rappers, and that's where his music career started, and he got his name DMX from a particular instrument which he was playing. And this the name of DMX can also be translated to Darkman X, and Darkman X is just the short form of DMX. But also DMX was a type of instrument which DMX was used to playing. So later on, DMX was able to after that boarding school and rap school, DMX was able to now leave that particular children's village, and he was able to now to go out. And after going out of that children's village, now he decided to sleep on particular trenches. He didn't want to go back home where the mother will abuse him. So DMX later on, now he started doing his music career. Now people had encouraged him and told him that he had a talent in that particular children's home, children's village. And after the encouragement which he got, he was able to have a passion in the career of music. And now he started now producing musics and music after music. And it was in 1990 and 1987 he was producing music, but it was until 98 where he was able to break through. So this period during 1990 he was signed to a particular company called Colombian Music, Colombian Music, and this Colombian Music didn't have a nice management, because what they did, the funds which they got from the revenues from DMX, they were able to fund other upcoming artists. So this was a drag back to DMX, because what DMX was earning, he had to distribute it to other particular artists. So later on, he was able, in 1998, he was able to sign with the label of Def Jam. And Def Jam at that time, people like P. Diddy had refused to sign DMX because they didn't see any potential in DMX. And also many other people had also refused. But Suge Knight wanted also to sign up DMX, but also Suge Knight wasn't able. So the people who signed DMX and brought DMX to his fame was the Def Jam Company. And Def Jam Company now led to the production of many of his hitting albums. The first album which he released is Hell is Hot, and something like that, which entitled Rough Riders inside that Rough Rider inside that album. And these were great hits in the year of 1998. And DMX now started being known, and also his likings and also fan base now grew even more and more. And now his career started showing up. So later on in the years around 1999, also he released songs like Where the Hood At, and released so many songs and also albums, nice songs. And also that's when he now started getting also concerts and also things to perform. Around there 99, I think he performed his largest concert, and also a good concert, which is also remembered until today. And also the videos are also replayed. He broke a record of the number of most people who were there. And DMX, one of the things people liked about him was his voice, and also the rough voice which he had, which was similar to Ja Rule. Later on, he was able to have a beef with Ja Rule, but he ruled out that beef and said he cannot be able to have a beef with his child, because if he was not there, Ja Rule could never be there. So he ruled out that beef and said he doesn't have any beef with Ja Rule. So later on in the year of 2000 and 2001, the grandmother was able to pass away and also released another album. Remember, these albums which he was releasing, the albums were being number one on the music chart of USA. And the second album which he released around there in 1999, 1988, was the first album which went to platinum and was able to sell a lot of numbers of copies. So later on in 2001 and 2000, where the grandmother died, also he released the album for the grandmother. Also the album got a lot of many people's ears, and also it was a nice album and also a nice tribute to the grandmother. The only person where DMX was able to find console into her, and also the only person who held DMX together. So later on in the years of 2000 over there, DMX now career started declining because of his use of drug abuse, and also he was caught up by many cases in the court, and also this dragged his career very back. And now Def Jam didn't want DMX anymore, because now this was a new era. New artists had come, like Eminem, many artists like 50 Cent. So the type of genre and also music was changing. It wasn't that rough music which was there a long time ago. Now it had to become soothing songs and also love songs, which were not there around the 1990s. So DMX had to adapt, and also adapt, and this made him fall. And because his music wasn't captivating to that particular type of fan base, which he was singing to. So DMX later on, through the many drug abuse and also many court cases, his career started falling, and Def Jam had DMX was owning Def Jam around 16 million, which this 16 million, the person who which bailed out DMX was Jay-Z. Jay-Z was able to bail out DMX, and later on, DMX was able to go to his old record company label, which was Colombian Records, which he started. So at this time, the career wasn't going very well, and also so many drug cases. Later on, even it was in 2016, he was caught up in a particular coma where he was unable and also responsive when the cops came there, but the cops were able to resuscitate him, and the cops were able to bring him back to life, but he wasn't fully himself. And also all this time of period, he was going through rehabs and also coming out of rehabs after 2 days of going to a rehab, and also he was relapsing in his cause to a better mental health and also a better life. So later on in 2021, April 9th, he was found and also unfound unresponsive at the age of, I think it was 50, around 50 to 60 years. He was found unresponsive, and after being found unresponsive, the doctors went to check on him and they pronounced him dead because of drug abuse, and so much induced of drug abuse, which was caused by cocaine. And one of the things, his heart was beating, but the brain was completely shut down. So the doctors eventually just pronounced him dead. And this is the story of DMX. And I hope you loved it. And DMX had like around 15 to 20 children. He had a lot of children. And also his wife also was there supporting and also loving to him. And also one of the people which made him also feel to go back into a good night state was the children of DMX. The children of DMX wanted DMX to recover and also made DMX have that feeling of him to recover. So that's the story of DMX, and I hope you like this story of DMX. Although it is a tragic story, but it is a story where he was able to outcome all the traumas which he went through, and also he was able to become a legend which we know today. And DMX is not just a small name, it is a big name where many people know his music, and he has left a legacy. Till today, we know DMX, and on his passing, many people were very grieved because he passed away. And just that's the story of DMX. It is a nice story, although a sad story at the same time. But DMX produced nice music, which we can all agree on that. So that's the story of DMX. So please come back for more stories. And also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and watch out for the next videos, and stay tuned. And also please subscribe to this channel, and also so you can get more videos and also more inspirational videos, and also you can know more about people. So thank you so much. Till we meet next time.